Good evening, everybody, and welcome to week 3 of Midwest R6 here in the fall 2025 season. I am Gedster, and joining me for the first time in a hot minute, it's Ace of Toronto, and we're going to be bringing you Michigan State University versus Kettering tonight. How you feeling tonight, my friend? It's been a little bit.
Yeah, locked down here in the deep dark, as it seems in my house. The light was just on a second ago. Uh, I'm here and I'm ready. We had a great game last week. I can't even remember the teams, but me and Fisher, we never lost it. We were on the ball, and it feels really good to be back in the chair with you, Getzer. We've been through a lot now. I've been getting you in and out of certain precarious situations, and I always like casting with you. It's not to say that I don't like casting with other people, but yeah, I'm here and I'm ready. I love Midwest, and I got a little bit of history with both of these teams, a little bit more than I did last week, so a little bit of extra insight.
That's exciting. I'm excited to hear what analysis you have to bring to the table because admittedly, a lot of these rosters are pretty new to me. I've done some studying, but not nearly enough at this point. So again, I'm very excited to see where this particular match goes. I'm hoping for a three mapper. Last time I casted Midwest R6, it was only two, and my internet cut during the last round of the entire match, so I didn't even get to catch the end of the games, which was very unfortunate. But hopefully that doesn't happen this time. It usually doesn't. Usually.
We had a pretty good two mapper last week actually. You wouldn't have expected the beginning correlating to the ending in the way that it did. So if you haven't seen that, I believe the replay is up on YouTube. Go check that one out. And if not, if you were here with us last week, then well, get ready for another good one here this week. Michigan State U Green versus Kettering University. Speaking of that, let's roll right on into the teams that we will be seeing here tonight. Let's take a look at the rosters for these teams. Michigan State is currently 0-3 after that jump up they had to Division One. Keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, they did win a grand final at the end of last season with somewhat of the same set of players: Sergeant Anxiety, Mr. Epic, Ova, Walter, and Realize. I believe Sergeant Anxiety, Walter, and Realize might have been the three of those of the members of the team that won that grand final. Mr. Epic is actually a sub here tonight. He has no stats for us to go off of, and Ova, I have not seen too much of.
Wow. Exciting stuff to see a core return from a previous year. Obviously, it's as you say, they are off to a little bit of a rough start as it stands, 0-3 in Midwest R6 thus far. But if there's any time to start bringing it all the way back, it's here in this week's matchup, and it's gonna be, like I said earlier, up against Kettering University. So let's take a look over at those guys as well. Gonna be looking at Bomb and Key, Shrimp, Arc Badman, Cryin, and Prismo. Also an 0-3 roster right now, so at least one of these teams is going to walk away with their first victory today. And I'm very excited to see which of them it will end up being here, Ace.
Yeah, we saw it happen last week. There was an undefeated team on the board versus a team that was winless on the board, and it ended up being an upset. Owen, I believe it was 0-3, ended up beating Lindenwood, of course. And it came down to it, And when looking at this Kettering roster, fun fact about your boy Ace of Toronto, I know it feels like I have been here forever, but the first match that I ever casted was Kettering U Varsity, which is this team, versus it was Kansas Crimson, I believe. And I'm seeing a lot of familiar names. I'm seeing Arc Badman. I'm seeing Cryin. I believe Shrimp was also on that team. Bomb Key has been in the shadows of this team for a little while now. I believe he might have been on the lower team, the JV team, so to speak. Not 100% sure on that. And then Prismo, I have no info on. I can tell you that right now. Kettering did have a little bit better of a start to the season last season than they obviously have as of right here, right now. Both of these teams, including Kettering, obviously being 0-3. Let's take a look at the quotes, ladies and gentlemen. What do these teams have to say to and or about each other? And
okay,
yeah, Bomkey,
Okay.
6-7. I mean, come on,
6,
right?
7.
Oh man.
You know what they said back in the day? 6 afraid of 7, because 7, 8, 9.
7, 8,
Sometimes
9
you got to go in and let your nuts hang a little.
says
Sergeant Anxiety. The quotes have been pretty stellar so far. Northwood University,
Yep.
I know that they say this across literally every single esport they're in, because I've got buddies on their Overwatch team. But "feel the wood" is their quote that they had in, which is hysterical.
That was a good one. I believe that might have been Northwood though. Are we
It
correct?
was,
It
yes,
was
that's what I
Northwood.
said.
Yep. I thought you said Lindenwood. I was going to say Lindenwood
No, no, no,
last
no, no,
week
no,
said
no.
something about said JD was better than Zay. It wasn't even Lindenwood. It was their opponents last week saying that. It was
Ah,
so funny though. In all honesty, JD, we love you to death. Let's take a look now at the player of the week
yeah,
for both of
I'm
these
curious.
teams. Sergeant Anxiety, obviously, will be the player. And break this down for me, really, Ged.
Well, the first thing I see here, obviously, is the fact that, despite being player of the week, all of these stats, below the 1.0 mark, probably has more to do with the fact that the team is currently winless than anything against Sergeant Anxiety specifically. But I mean, if we're going into Consulate in particular, then I mean, this is one of those maps where, oh no, we're not.
Nope. Mm-mm.
Unfortunate. I have been lied to by production. You
Going to
hate to see it.
labs. Going to labs.
We're
But
going to
the
labs.
same
We're
thing
going
can
to
be said. The
labs.
same thing can be said, I'd
Same
say.
thing can be said. We're going all the way to labs. Would not entirely shock me to see a significant fragging potential coming out from Sergeant Anxiety here, especially going up against another somewhat weaker team in Kettering.
Yeah, I mean, and looking at it, player to watch versus player to watch, when it comes to fragging potential, the player to watch on the opposite team, I don't even know if I've seen this graphic yet or not, but of course I knew it. It was and is Crying. We are not going to bank. Consider these two pictures that you are seeing beside their names just art, just genuine art. Just call it what it is. Crying obviously is the one of, if not the top fragger, one of the people that you need to pay attention to on Kettering. He's been known to play that ace. I will say one thing: that picture is not incorrect of the operator, of course. And player to watch on your Midwest bets, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a part of the Midwest R6 Discord, like we all are, the Midwest bets are back, which meant that the player to watch is now also back. No surprise at all to see Sergeant Anxiety and Crying being the two players that are on the player to watch list this week.
For sure, for sure. And reminder, everybody, Midwest bets, not actual gambling. There's no money involved. It's just for fun with like a for fun currency in the Discord server. There is no actual gambling happening here. But I mean,
I
we can
will
go
go
ahead
all in every week, though.
You would. You absolutely would.
I will.
Just knowing you. We can move on, I believe, to our next screen being the stats page. The lineup stats. Yeah, there we go. There we go. And I mean, it's been, like I said earlier, it's been a little bit of a rough road for both of these teams, both currently sitting at a winless record. But I mean, there's still been a lot of potential shown from, at very least, like the particular players that we highlighted just now, the players to watch. But I'm just seeing higher kill numbers across the board for Kettering here, and I'm not sure if that means like, oh yeah, they're absolutely gonna be able to take this one away. But I don't know, if they're getting more kills on average, that probably means they're taking more maps, and if they're taking more maps, then maybe they feel a little bit more confident than Kettering going into this one.
Yeah,
Michigan State, I should say.
You're right. I will say there was one thing that we had at some point, I believe it might have been during the regular season last season, that kind of tracked, how these teams had been doing over the past few maps instead of having it cumulative here. But in all honesty, I would say that the cumulative here makes me feel better about going forward than it does about seeing the past, so to speak. Like I can tell you right now that Crying and Arc Badman are at the top specifically due to their assist numbers, and you would say, okay, well, why isn't Shrimp
Mm,
up there? Shrimp is getting more kills and less assists per round or per map, so to speak, when it comes to going up against someone like Cryan and or Arc Badman when it comes to your stats, specifically because those two players are either really anchor heavy or really roam heavy any given day, especially Cryan. So that, you see your better players, Cream rising to the top, as well as looking over at Sergeant Anxiety. He does have a few more deaths, uh, but definitely not as many as Cryan does, and that tells you how aggressive Cryan can be. He has the overall most kills within this lobby that we are going to be seeing here tonight. And it plays a factor. You have someone as aggressive as Cryan. You have someone who knows that they can anchor as well as Arc Badman can, and then you look over at MSU and they're playing with Mr. Epic. Nothing against him, but I don't believe they've logged a game with him so far this season. As well as
no.
Realize has not been off to the start that you need him to have. You need him to have more assists. You need him to have a few less deaths, considering he's a pretty good support player for you. A
Mhm.
lot has gone wrong so far for MSU, but I can't put it past them that they won't be able to pass up Kettering in any way. Like, this might be our best chance at getting a map 3 so far here in the season.
Definitely would not shock me. Let's also take a quick look at the map bans and picks going into this match here. And I think this one, it seems fairly stock standard, right? I mean, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
be playing Labs Chalet Clubhouse for the duration of the match here, and I mean, I'm personally excited to see these maps. I think Chalet in particular is a very
Mm-hmm.
interesting map in terms of how we've seen it get played in recent patches. In particular, a lot of teams at the very top of Siege have opted to shift away from playing that basement site, just
Mm-hmm.
opting instead to play a lot of bar gaming, for example. And I think that it's going to be an extremely interesting play to see if these teams are also going to be doing something similar to that, or if they're going to be sticking kind of to that basement role. And I think a lot of what happens in that regard is going to come down to what operators get banned.
Yep. I mean, you're not lying when you say it. Simple as tic tac toe, 1, 2, 3, Lab, Chalet, Clubhouse. These are maps that we are oh so used to seeing. But the time for talking is up, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we are going to Labs with our first map, and we are now in. Now, ignore the fact that it says blue and orange team at the top. That's okay. We are working with a skeleton crew of some sorts, but it's okay because everyone is doing their job just as
Yep.
perfectly as they need to. Ace and Kaid being the first bans is not really a shocker here on Nighthaven Labs, especially with the
No.
way that the meta has been shifting it.
Definitely not. I mean, Kaid in particular is one of those operators on defense that is just so versatile. Does not matter what site you're playing, you can usually find a good spot for those Electro Claws to be put down. Now, second here, Bandit and
Yep.
Maverick, also not shocking. Both teams going to be doubling up on what they want to get rid of, making sure that those walls can't be denied nearly as easily. The hard breach is significantly harder to pull off, and that's kind of why we're seeing like these, I don't want to say suboptimal choices, but less conventional choices for those. I mean, we are seeing a Tuberal come out here from the side of Kettering.
Yeah, seeing the Toby come out, it looks as though it's more about who didn't get banned right away, and you can instantly see the top 4 operators. I'm gonna sprawl them all out for you right now. The 2 defenders being Tuberal and Azami. Those are 2 that
Mm-hmm.
you really would have liked to get off the board if you could, but taking away the electricity is just as important, I would say, if not more important. And then on the attacking
Mm.
side, Blackbeard, and specifically for this site, Buck. Blackbeard and
Mm.
Buck being the 2 main ones that you really wish you could have gotten off the board, but now you know that you're just going to have to find a way around it. Buck can be so unbelievably disruptive from below on this site specifically, especially if you have someone like a Tuberal waiting there at that IT wall, waiting on a thermite charge, or waiting on uh, uh, a can opener from either Buck or Grimm's back pocket. Like, just he can be, well, not Buck specifically, Grimm's back pocket most likely. Yeah, I mean, it all depends. He's very dependent on how the defenders are playing, and there's not really too many different ways they can play specifically on this site.
It is fairly standard to see the hard breach band out here, and it's kind of why we're seeing the composition we're seeing right now. Obviously, this Thermite character, not bad. He's been around this game for a few years, just a couple, I'd say. Not quite. I mean, I'm just lying right now. He's been around the whole time, but
Pathfinder operator.
The execute, not quite beginning yet, but I mean, Sergeant Anxiety on this Blackbeard already putting a whole lot of pressure up top above this walkway in the garage. Does eventually step all the way in.
Oh,
that's just enough pressure to put.
Oh, we got them both.
Izami. No, it's a 1-for-1 trade. Down goes the Twitch as well.
No, it all came down to the fact that Walter was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time. But the most important defender is now off the board. Besides Crying, I would say it was 110% Arc Badman. Getting him off the board as early as you did. Now you can send Grim in there. You can send Mr. Epic in there. He's going to be able to get a lot of extra info out of these opponents for you. Crying does go down to Ova downstairs. That's your second biggest player off the board right there. Sergeant Anxiety is making his name known. Shrimp with a fat shotgun double. Sergeant Anxiety and Yova go down, and now he's got Waterfall all to himself.
That's kind of insane. Managing to find 2 picks with the shotgun. Exactly what you want from an anchor player like that. Prismo gonna be able to find another pick on to realize, and now it's just Mr. Epic remaining in a 1 versus 3. It becomes so tough here, and yeah, you're just not gonna be able to get anything done. That's gonna be a shutdown, and the first round will go the way of Kettering. Really solid stuff going on in that first round. The defense was, I won't quite say ironclad. I mean, losing out on your Izami early just means that there's going to be a lot of issues. But, I mean, they just managed to bring it back super, super effectively.
Attackers need to locate and
now they're going to opt for... Is that base? It is going to be the base site. Not shocking. But, I mean, once again, you're having to deal with a very similar situation here of the outside wall being a very prevalent part of this defense. And again, you don't have wall denial for it in the traditional electricity sense, but you've also not brought along the 2-power this time. Having instead to just rely on this mute. Potentially the mirror as well.
Well, when it comes down to it, you know that the walls aren't really going to be that big of an issue. You're going to look elsewhere at the same time, and that's exactly why we're bringing the Nook, and that's why we're even thinking about bringing the Capital, I would say. He doesn't necessarily have to sit down there the entire time, as long as you can get him back down there to rotate with extra smokes for the Glass, for Walter. But as of right now, this looks to be a 4-man straight downstairs take with Sergeant Anxiety obviously on the lurk. You got to be weary of Shrimp and or Bomb Key if you are Sergeant Anxiety, though, because a lot could go wrong really quickly for you. Realize does already have this wall open, so job almost done as of right now for this 4-man downstairs take here. They just need to find a safe way in, but it's not going to happen with that mirror still there. Nothing to break it either.
Yeah, they've not made it particularly easy for the side of Kettering. They gotta... Not Kettering, excuse me. For...
MSU.
Michigan.
For MSU. Yep.
MSU. Yes. I remember things. No. They've not made it easy. Because, I mean, getting in with this mirror looking at you, it's not going to be a particularly easy task. I think that the big crux of this is the fact that they bring along the Glass. It kind of seems like they were hoping to go for some sort of very fast and aggressive plan.
Oh my lord!
Through the breach, I saw that C4.
Yep, Mr. Epic is just
risky.
fighting for his life against Crying right now. He's wasting as much time as possible, but no one has taken any damage. They're just going back
Yeah,
and forth here.
yeah, the damage so far has been minimal, but eventually, Sergeant Anxiety, he will find the headshot, and that's going to be enough to potentially break this one open.
He went down.
But does get traded in return.
Oh,
The plant is
diffuser.
going down. Oh, they're going to be able to hold this one. That smoke was perfectly placed. And that just allows the side of MSU to get that plant down. But Cryan able to clap back here with just the one so far. Still 3 more to get through. And Cryan doesn't have a lot of health to work with.
Cryan doesn't have a lot of health. A triple and a quad for Ova. I honestly don't know how to say that. I think it's Ova, though. A quad kill to end the round. Wow, and he brings MSU right back to it. Tied at 1 now.
Yeah, that was, I mean, just a very, very nice execute. Getting into the site there was, I mean, as you were pointing out, the Mira being there made it a very, very difficult push. But they got through that one nonetheless, just completely in spite of everything that was pushing them away from that open breach, both in Animus and on the main wall. They make it through. And this time around, I mean, we're seeing them go back to the Tuberau just so that they can potentially keep that wall closed for a little bit longer. If they can manage to do that, then they're looking, I would say, a whole lot better than they did in that previous round, because I think the big problem was that they let the wall get open too quickly, and then there was just way too much pressure, and it was only a matter of time before someone on the side of Kettering slipped up.
Yeah, I mean, it came down. Cryan was fighting for his life out there, but at the end of the day, he wasn't doing enough. And then the lurk from Sergeant Anxiety really, really put things into perspective. It made them stop focusing as much on the Mira and on the open wall, and made them look around, look up, and that was just enough of an opening that they needed, and that they ended up getting. The diffuser went down, and it was all over from there. On to this next round, though, they have about the same lineup, but they did bring Cryan on the Warden instead, and they now have Bombkey on the Tuberau in order to hopefully keep the wall closed for a little bit longer. As you said,
no.
Mr. Epic, what a kill onto Shrimp. Ova is also now fighting for his life upstairs.
Yeah, I mean, Shrimp being out of the picture. This is echoes of round 1 already. The Azami being the first player down in the round is so rough to have to deal with, because obviously those Kiba barriers, they regenerate throughout the round, so you can't just slap them all down at once. It's not a thing you can do. You gotta live as long as possible to get the maximum value out of this operator, and it just does not happen this time. But I mean, the side of MSU still taking their time, still being extremely cautious on the execute here.
As much droning as possible for Sergeant Anxiety to make sure that he is able to do his job and to do it well. They are up a man, so they feel as though they need to be a little bit more safe than sorry in order to not lose this lead. But at the same time, you want Sergeant Anxiety to be able to make as much pressure as possible. Cryan catches Ova out on the roam. Might have been doing his ram duties upstairs, making a little extra pressure. But of course, I said it best in the pre-show. You can't tie Cryan down. And if you do, you might be in the exact same world of hurt. Art Badman goes down. Sergeant Anxiety is now doing his job and hopefully doing it well enough. Bombkey takes Mr. Epic down. And now it's honestly up to Sergeant Anxiety. I would say you have to be careful. Walter is also outside. Realize takes Prismo down, and it's looking better and better for MSU. Walter takes Bombkey down as he's trying to get an angle on Sergeant Anxiety. It's up to Cryan. He drops onto the pillar. Realizes down. Sergeant Anxiety can't sprint away, but Walter, through the opened wall, the can opener, works its wonders. He just sprinted straight through the doorway.
I mean, at a certain point, you kind of have to go for something like that. There's a Blackbeard standing basically on top of the case. You have to find a way to get past his shield, and the most reliable way of doing that is either meleeing him or forcing him to drop the gun, so you just sprint at him. Blackbeard and Tubarão both
Yep.
off the board now,
No
and
surprise.
I mean, yeah, definitely not a surprise, but I mean, Tubarão being off the board, there is one operator at this point that you can use to deny walls at all, and that's going to be the mute, but not a particularly difficult operator to get around. Obviously, those jammers do not affect the entire wall, only the dome that they can reach, so you can send basically any piece of utility up into a top corner and have it work from there regardless.
At the end of the day, though, mute is going to be a mainstay on both of these defending side teams, specifically because it might not be the most efficient at doing its job, but at the same time, it's one of the best at doing its job. And I'm referring to the fact that it makes you waste utility anyway. You have to find a way around it, maybe with a buck below or just throwing an impact EMP at it. That's an impact EMP that you could have wasted on something like an Azami Gate instead. Maybe maybe even a Mira if you think it has a mute jammer behind it, like especially Azami Gates though, like or Aruni Gates. I'm so sorry, get the A's mixed up. Especially Aruni Gates though, like it's just you don't want to have to waste the utility until it comes time to waste the utility. And even then, they don't have any EMPs at all. They don't have a Thatcher. They don't have any pocket EMPs. You need Walter to be able to get this wall open, or else you're just going to have to go around it like Realize is attempting to do. Walter gets Arc Badman through the wall, and it is already off to a rough start for Arc Badman and for Kettering.
I mean, Kettering just continues to lose out on operators so early in the round here. And every time it's the Azami, it doesn't matter who the player is. It just happens to be the Azami every time. Which is so unfortunate for them. But, I mean, it's still something they can come back from. Last time they were on this site, they came back from losing the Azami first.
They did.
It's winnable. That's what I'm getting at here. And one of the other big things, we were seeing a lot of Blackbeard in previous rounds, but obviously now that that's banned out, different shield operators, Sergeant Anxiety over to the Blitz, maybe arguing that they could be a little bit more aggressive here with a little rush, but we'll see.
I mean, whatever ends up working, right? I did say it better in the pre-show than what we've seen so far. He's one of your number one support players. And that's the exact reason why. You put him in position for people like Walter to get the kills that they're meant to get for this team. Walter with another double. He is on fire right now. I believe that actually might have been a triple. I'm sorry. 2 more, and he might even have the ace.
Just a little bit more. It would be kind of fire, but I mean, at the same time, Kettering, they're in so much trouble right now. Bombkey is able to get one back off the back of those very nice shots with the Azami DMR, but Frisbo out of the picture. Mr. Epic shutting him down entirely, and now it's Bombkey against 4. Plant is down, and they have a wall open over here, so maybe gonna be able to find an angle or two onto a player, not expecting it, but there's the the Blitz running you down as Blitz does best. And that is a 3rd consecutive attacking round for the side of MSU. They are on fire.
I mean, if you can get it done on your attack on Nighthaven, then your defense is probably going to look even better. I'll tell you one thing right now. I cannot remember who picked this map, but I will say Kettering is not looking good on it right now. Not at all. Even the first round that they won was a bit shaky, but it was still good enough to get them by. Now here we are 3-1 deep on map 1, and it's looking more and more like MSU just continue to keep their foot on the gas, and they seem as though they have no reason to take it off. Like, everything is working for them. The Blackbeard was working enough to where it needed to get banned. The Thermite is working perfectly right now. Walter, he doesn't even need to use his Twitch drones in order to make his role be fulfilled. And the exact same thing can be said about Sergeant Anxiety and even Mr. Epic, who we had question marks about.
Yeah.
Mr. Epic is now coming into his own, so to speak, with this team. Even if this might be one of the only games he plays this season for this team, he's looking good enough now to kind of show why he's here in the first place.
The super sub, one might say. Able to come in and flex to whatever the team is needed. I mean, we've seen a couple operators from them. This time we're going to be seeing the gridlock. A little bit different, but definitely still a good operator. And I am keen to see how this next round plays out because, I mean, it's as you can see, Kettering is going back up to the top floor. I don't think this is a bad play, but it's definitely one that screams to me that they are most comfortable here. You were talking about not remembering which team picked this. This is an MSU map pick, so
okay.
There does appear to be a slight difference in comfortability here, which, I mean, that just happens with, you know, any competitive game of this nature. Not every team is going to be able to practice every single map to the same level of efficiency, but just being able to play this one out is important. And I mean, we've seen Kettering take a round, but you have to be able to take these opening duels. I think that so far Kettering is 0 for 5 in opening duels. It's been real rough for him so far, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, 3 of them were Arc Bad Man, 1 of them was Shrimp, and 1 of them was Crying. So luckily enough, it wasn't the Azami that died first, but oh man, you saw him crying there at the beginning. You definitely should have had that one. Shrimp takes Walter out though. That is a big get off the board. You do end up shooting and breaking your own Azami barricade, but a double from Mr. Epic makes it to where you can't use any more Azami barricades at all. 1v4 now. Realize takes Bomkey out. That Nitrocell wasn't going to hit Sergeant Anxiety, even if it wanted to. And now it's up to Prismo. Plant is going down. It's looking more and more like a 4-1. Prismo though, nice kill, but there's not much you can do. Wait, ignore me. The melee comes through and it actually works. He gets priority because that's just how shield operators work now. Prismo has no health left. Diffuser is down. I wouldn't call it over just yet, but I will say this has been such a run so far for Prismo. When you least expect it, he's crossing through now.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't have too much left he could do there, though.
A spot you don't expect the gridlock to be in, but I mean, in fairness, you got your melee kill against the Blitz. That's, if nothing else, you got the funny kill.
Blinded.
You've done
full blind too, yeah.
Full blind melee kill. Absolutely
that was worth
phenomenal.
At the very least. I'd be celebrating that one.
Worth it, for sure. Again, choosing to defend top floor. At this point in the game, I'm not sure if going back to the top floor is the best idea. Obviously, this is the point that they're the most comfortable playing. I think that that's pretty obvious at this point. But you've had one successful round up here. In my opinion, you may as well mix it up. Go to kitchen or something like that. But, I mean, end of the day, we're back. We're up top. That wall's gonna get opened, and I mean, the side of MSU does not seem particularly hesitant to pull out something like a shield operator. Doesn't seem like they're gonna run it this time around, with Sergeant Anxiety going over to that Nomad rather than the Blitz that we saw previously. But I am a little bit curious to see how the side of Kettering is going to use this Denari, the newest operator in the game. Obviously, very, very interesting operator. I think he's one of the coolest they've added in a while. These laser gates are so fascinating in how you can use them. But
yeah, I mean, this is the first round I've ever casted of Denari. And fun fact, I have not played R6 as a player since Denari came out, so I know of him and I know what he should do, but I'm not as well versed as some other people might be. I was going to quickly cover what the reasoning behind some of these attacker changes might have been. Whatever was working well enough to where they felt as though strat changes could be useful. You don't want to show your opponent everything in the book, but if you're up 4-1, You don't want to continue to show them the same thing so that they can adapt to it just as well. That's one of the exact reasons why Bombkey goes Denari. That's one of the reasons why you put Cryan on the Malusi this time instead. And when it comes to the attacking side, that's why you don't necessarily push in with a shield this time. You realize that the
Mm,
defense is changing it up. Prismo gets one on the roaming Mira, which
the
is
roaming Miro.
certainly not expected at all
Roaming Miro, bottom
from anyone.
text.
Yeah, wow, bottom text.
It's
That is a bottom
definitely
text moment.
an unconventional strategy for sure,
Wow.
but Walter going to be able to get that one right back despite
Mm,
the first opening pick
pre-fire.
for the side of Kettering. It just isn't enough. There's going to be more and more and more issues facing this team. I mean, the clutch drone in here is going to be able to get rid of so many of these defenders' utilities,
Cryan's in a good
especially
spot.
the Malusi and the Denari ones. I mean, that's just
Never
rough,
mind.
losing out on another player here, and now it's just the Azami left. It's not going to be enough. Once again, another attacking round for MSU here. They have looked extremely good on this attacking half.
Yeah, and at the same time, I talked him up just as much in the pre-show as I did Cryan. Arc bad man, it feels bad man right
Yeah.
now. He does not have a kill. It's not looking good for him. He is one of the cornerstones of this team. If you can get Cryan going, you can get him going. He is 0-6 right now, and it's just two sides of the same coin that they're not flipping right now, so to speak. I just came up with that one off the dome. That was pretty sharp. Uh,
Mm.
but yeah, I mean, you got to get Arc Badman going if you're going to be able to get in this and stay in this, because 5-1 is not the split that you want. We're seeing some of the kind of same bands here. Bandit is obviously on the board and will be on the board and stay on the board for this MSU defense. I do not see them switching off of him at all since he was left on the board. But at the same time, you saw how strong the Mira was in your hands, even if you didn't do too much with it. You definitely were a big time waster, so to speak. And so I can understand why you would want to take the Mira away from your opponents.
Well, yeah, the Mira is one of those operators that doesn't need to do a whole lot herself because her gadget just does so much work on its own. Just being able to put up those windows, being able to put pressure on enemies that can't see you, but you can see them. I mean, it's been a powerful gadget ever since she was first introduced into this game, and I think year 2 or something like that. She's
Yep,
been
year
around
two,
for a
one.
hot minute, and she has been one of the most prevalent characters the entire time, but it does not surprise me at all, I should say, to see her getting banned out here. But it is, as you say, that does leave the bandit on the board, and that does allow for this operator to be used, particularly on this top floor bomb site and in the basement. So both of those walls are going to be electrocuted, at least for the time being. But that is why you see the Thatcher get brought along. But I mean, you lose out on your Ash so early. And
Question
that
mark.
is
Rightfully
so unfortunate, because obviously you would love to have had those ranged soft breach charges, but it's just not going to be on the board here.
Crying. I mean, he is undeniably the man that you need to keep alive in order for your attack to not necessarily work, but work well enough. He has he's the kill leader for Kettering right now. And I also don't know how you missed that impact EMP as well. You threw it way too far. You didn't throw it at the drone hole. This, as of right now, Crying going off the board looks as though it has made this attack just extra sloppy, and it is not looking good as of right now. Mr. Epic sitting on E-Box. He is in a great spot. He's been spotted out, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter because he knows that he can, at least most likely, win that fight as Bombkey gets ready to hopefully press him a little bit, maybe. I mean, he also does have the Supernova with a silencer on it, and you're going against SMG 12. So you might not win that one, but you also might. Who's to say?
It's a difficult fight to take for sure. Not impossible, but difficult in every sense of the word. I like the pick of
Wow.
the board in here as well. I mean,
That's
Mr.
why.
Epic. Mr. Epic with this
That's
shotgun.
why I like it. Yep.
This substitute.
Do it again?
This substitute has just proven so effective for the side of MSU. Unfortunately, does go down after a little bit, but I mean, 2 picks is at the
Sergeant
beginning of the
Anxiety.
round. That should just be enough at this point. The Warden, such
might
a
be
good
huge,
operator
though.
when it comes to covering for those stuns in particular, but I mean, there's still a couple of very important operators on the board for the side of Kettering, but not anymore. I was
Walter.
about to talk about how important the Grim was, but then the dominoes started falling, and
Walter
just like
again.
that, MSU is on match point, or match point rather.
Just so much is happening there, and at the same time, you can prove that nothing is happening. If you're MSU, that was a great round from Walter and from the defense in general right then. Like, they knew exactly what was happening. Mr. Epic, he wastes as much time as possible. He gets a kill. He gets at least a little bit of damage onto the other opponent that comes through the door. Then he already had backup supporting him from Ebok's doorway. There's your pick right there. Then Walter can just sit on pillar and watch Ebox from that point on. Even if they did trade out, it's just one after another, after another, after another. Every domino is falling in MSU's favor right now, and Kettering has just continued to just fluster and just be as undisciplined as I have ever seen them. Like Arc Badman, you need him to get up, get going, wake him up, and he is 0-7. Cryan and Shrimp are both 4-7. Cryan has died first twice. Shrimp has died first once. You need these players to stay on the board for you. And even if they are still on the board, so to speak, you need them to act. You need them to act the way you need them to act. Cryan has been playing his role. Shrimp has kinda been playing his role. Prismo, even, who I didn't bring up, he also has actually the most kills on the team. And then you look at, he has 5.
Yeah,
the most kills on the team. Yeah, I thought he did. I was thinking that everyone was tied at 4. That was on me. But either way, you look at Arc Badman and Bombkey. These are your 2 players that you have to wake up. Cryan, though, Cryan seems as though he is somewhat awake. Keep him alive long enough, and he will make magic happen.
He'll make moves for sure, and I mean that's a big one to find. Obviously, Ova, however you pronounce it, been a big gun for the side of MSU this whole time, but I mean, Sergeant Anxiety, man, this guy, so consistent, just able to find picks whenever you need him to. That's an interesting spot for those batteries to be, though. They do get taken out of the picture, and Mr. Epic does go down here. That castle no longer in the picture, but I mean, you would assume those barricades are already down in those critical positions where they've already needed to be, so not going to be too sad that you've lost out on that particular operator. It becomes more of a problem if you lose somebody like, say, the Tubarao, who hasn't used all of his utility up to this point in the round.
Very true. Oh, what a nice angle. Oh, he heard the nitro cell be ripped, though. There you go. And now that moves everyone back to square one.
But he holds on to the nitro cell. He doesn't even end up throwing it out there. I think throwing it would have been like a good play, but just opting not to in the end. A very passive play, and hopefully one that Sergeant Anxiety does not come to regret, because I mean, there's sometimes only like limited opportunities to be able to utilize that. But at the same time, you do have a couple of nitro cells on this team in total, and Walter gonna throw his out, not finding anyone. But with 37 seconds remaining now in the round, diffuser in hand, and a man advantage for the side.
Triple for Cryan.
A quad for Cryan. They are going to be able to
triple!
The site, but Sergeant Anxiety finding 2 from the flank, making it down to 1v1. It's just Shrimp to try to get this round over the line. Sergeant Anxiety with the ace from out of nowhere. A 4K coming out from one player crying on the side of KU, and then Sergeant Anxiety with a 1v4 to complete an ace to win the round and the map? Are you kidding me?
1v4 ace to win the game. Wow. Well, map 1 has wrapped up an unbelievable first map. I will say it firsthand here, ladies and gentlemen. That was well worth the watch. MSU takes the lead now, 7-1 on map 1 over Kettering as we get ready to roll on to their map pick of Chalet. I believe it was Chalet, yep.
It was.
Right after this break.
I don't want you to know them upcoming new artists. Don't watch out. But watch out. Them stink like my money. By the way, I don't want you to know nice. I only want you to river.
we back. It's time for Chalet. Map 1 was what's the word you would use, Ace? I think brutal comes to mind. That's a pretty good word, I think. But going into
yeah.
this one, this time it is Kettering's map pick. We are going to a map that theoretically they scrim a little bit more than Labs. They practice a little bit more than Labs, but I mean there were a couple things that I think that they needed to figure out between maps, and hopefully they've talked those over. There were a couple of just kind of egregious misplays there. I mean, as good as the play was near the end, I don't think they should have allowed Sergeant Anxiety to get a 1v4 ace. That should never happen. But I mean, at the end of the day, mistakes are made, and that's why you bounce back. There's a reason that you're able to do that in a best of 3 series. That's why we don't do best of 1s.
Yep.
All that.
That's what's so good about Midwest, man. Best of 3s all year round.
Okay. A Capital ban coming out here. I kind of like it. Capital is one of those operators that makes it really hard to hold the basement, just because, you know, being able to send in those fire bolts through the drone hole right next to the outside wall makes it so that Bandit has a really difficult time holding onto the wall super consistently. And I mean,
Flores.
Okay, Flores. Whoa, that's an interesting ban. I think what that's interesting.
Well,
MSU maybe not taking this as maybe not too worried about the ban phase here, potentially, I suppose.
Well, either that or they're looking a little bit deeper into it. In the case of Capital, if you have so say they're downstairs, I believe they're actually not downstairs right now. This is actually a really nice site to go actually first. But say they're downstairs. If you have an easy clear with you and you want to take big garage, it's just as simple as 1, 2, 3 with the Capital. So I can completely and utterly understand why he's taken off the board. The Flores, however, is a little bit more tricky, so to speak, when it comes to why you would want to take the Flores off the board. You want to take the Flores off the board for the power positions, for the top blues, for the corner solar takes, for the mid kitchen table takes, stuff like that, because you know that you're going to have a shield there most of the time, and the shield can and will most likely be accompanied by, what do we see on the board right now? A Jaeger, a Wamai, a Warden, maybe even a Mute, as well as a Frost. You want to be able to get rid of the shield as well as everything around it. So Flores definitely digging deep in their bag to make sure that he is off the board early. Capital, a little bit more of a solid downstairs and a solid upstairs type of attacker to take off the board.
Yeah, an interesting series of bans coming out, but the round begins, and so far no contact up to this point, but we do have the side of Kettering with the shield upstairs, and that's a nice early pick there. Fine on this. I forgot the name of the operator. Raura, that's it. I just completely forgot the name of the operator.
I understand.
My fault. But good early pick there, and I mean, Azami being off the board is so bad.
Crying double.
MSU, and oh my god, another one. Same angle as far as I can tell. Beautiful stuff coming out from Crime so far, and they're just going to be cutting off the entire half of that upstairs area.
And they're doing exactly what they know they need to do here. They're playing their game. They're making sure that Shrimp has as much room as possible to be able to go in and do what he needs to do. You're roaring off points of entry, important points of entry. You've got Prismo doing what he needs to do, and you also have Bombkey making sure that the stairs cannot be flanked up. Taking Walter off the board and taking Mr. Epic off the board are two of the main players that you want to make sure that MSU don't have at their disposal for this end game, because it seems as though this end game is going to come down to a drop and plant, so to speak, and that looks as though,
oh my goodness,
that's what they're getting ready to do. Yep,
they're all like in a very similar position, just ready to go in on this one. Shrimp is in onto the site.
He's on that half
Has the
wall, but he's
shield.
got Realize watching him.
They know that Realize is here.
He's
Smoke
got a
grenades
nitro,
are
too.
going down. The nitro is out, not
Oh,
gonna
he
find
missed.
anybody.
Yeah.
But that's
Oh!
gonna be a good shot there from Prismo. It's a 1 versus 5 for Ova, and I don't think this one's even
flawless.
remotely close to being able to happen. Prismo with another excellent pick to close that one out.
Wow.
I mean, that was beautiful stuff coming out from the side of Kettering.
I mean, this is either a site that MSU is not as well versed in, or MSU just weren't ready for what Kettering had to offer for them on their attack. And here we are now. You look at the exact same defender, well, not the exact same defender lineup, the defender lineup that I was kind of predicting here, and that is one of the main reasons why you don't see a Flores on the board. You've got the Bandit, you've got the Frost, you've got the Malusi, and you've got the Jaeger. That will keep whoever is top blue and whoever is back square solar alive long enough to be able to hopefully just run out the clock for this Kettering attack.
I do find it interesting, by the way, that they're playing the typical setup that you might see a Frost playing if they're on top floor. While they're playing this kitchen dining site, it makes a lot of sense just being able to hold that vertical space above with the shield on top of the piano. It's just not entirely what I expected to see coming out from the side of MSU in this instance.
Well, you might even see a top mezza hold. It all depends, really.
It's possible for sure, but it doesn't appear that top mez will be the play for the side of MSU so far. Kettering seems to recognize that as well. Seems to be their preferred point of entry at this point, as they step into the building, droning out most of the top floor at this point. This is a very vertical potential take here. Kind of why we see Shrimp on this buck in particular. What another interesting operator I am thinking about here is okay, that's a bad operator to be losing early. Lion, so important to be able to lock down the positions of some of these enemy players, and I mean that's just not even remotely an option anymore.
Not at all. You don't have any Lion anymore now at this point. And now you're left kind of flustered a little bit. Wow, Ryan, what a kill. Oh, man, but see, look at that. Mr. Epic gets a double.
See, this is exactly what happened on the last map. And I'm hoping we don't get a repeat of the next one, of the previous map here, where the first round goes very well towards Kettering, and then the rest of them are just like a slow, like a snowball rolling down a hill. It just gets worse and worse and worse. But I mean, right now, you've only got 2 players left, and it's an IQ and an Ace, but the Ace is able to pick up another pick here onto Mr. Epic, but that's going to turn it into a 3 versus 1. What a shot from Ova. Prismo managing to get the trade, but, I mean, it's down to a 1 versus 2. You need to be able to get downstairs. You need to be able to find 2 more players, and you found one of them. Dealt a lot of damage to that smoke. Realize very nearly goes down.
Play your life at this point, Realize.
Still standing, at least for the time being. 3 smoke canisters as well. Hasn't utilized any of those quite yet. Finds the pick onto Realize, and now it's a 1 versus 1 for Prismo. Just the Malusi standing in the way of what would be a phenomenal clutch coming out from this Ace player here. 26 seconds left and opting to play it a little bit safer. Droning this out. If you can spot out the Malusi, which you have, you know exactly where the player is now. Behind the bomb chassis is where the reposition will be. The drop comes out and not able to get the clutch. Sergeant Anxiety holds on, preventing the 4v2 from being successful. But what an effort.
Kettering is proving that this will not be a one and done like it was last game. It was literally a 1-0 lead for Kettering, and then it all blew up in their face 7-1. they even though they did just lose that right then, they're still proving, I'd say, that this will not be a one and done from them. They are going to continue to keep their foot on the gas. This is their map after all. They have more tricks up their sleeve. It's only round 3. I wouldn't start panicking yet if I am a Kettering fan watching this one in the chat right now, but I will say that was a pretty, even though it did come down to a 1v1, that was a pretty solid defensive hold from MSU. You can't sit here and say that they are completely inexperienced, so to speak, on this map, considering it's not their map pick, because of how just universal Chalet is. I mean, Chalet is one of, if not the new Oregon ever since it got taken out. So, I mean, you're going to be able to get your reps in on a map that is as old and as common as Chalet is. It's just Kettering did pick this one for a reason, so we can't quite count them out yet. Wow.
Okay.
And that might be why they were ready for it.
Oh, they were extremely ready. Down goes the Goyo, and I mean, you really do just hate to see it in that instance if you're a fan of MSU, but I mean that's such a phenomenal early kill to get. Obviously, just one gun lesser on this basement site here, but I mean, basement's going to be a little bit easier than you might think to break into in this particular instance. There's no wall denial whatsoever. Realize also going down super early. We still have more than 2 minutes left on the clock here, and I mean, players are dropping like flies. A lot of damage being done as well, even to players that aren't dying, but Crine will be the first victim on the side of Kettering. No more Grim to work with, and I mean, you really like to have that operator just being able to shove people away with those bees is so powerful. But you do still have operators capable of doing similar, particularly with this gridlock. So not over by any means for either of these teams.
Not at all. Shrimp does go down to Sergeant Anxiety. 3-3 now. You can't think that this will go one way or the other right now just based on everything that you're seeing. But I will say that Walter is in a very good spot, although he's basically completely by himself right now with 2 different attackers watching his every move. Prismo, how do you miss that? Ova gets another one, and it's looking better and better for MSU as this round goes on. A minute left. Prismo is on fire right now, and they have Walter essentially pinched null and void right now.
I mean, this started as a 5 versus 3 with super early picks for the side of Kettering that just didn't go answered, but now the answers have been here in spades. Walter's in a little bit of trouble here, just very, very tough position to find yourself in with this little health. You really can't afford to move very much down here, but
you need your teammates to back you up.
Many more guns on the team. They're looking to pressure out the Azami here, but the rotation comes through, and that is a crucial misplay.
Oh, wow.
Prismo not able to get the 1 versus 3 going, gets the first, but will not be able to translate the second, and the pattern just continues for the side of MSU.
Walter, stuck on the pillar, continues to be a nuisance for this Kettering squad. And now we're getting the next set of bans out here. I would not be surprised at all if we see a Azami ban on the defensive side of things. We're going to see Valkyrie instead, possibly with the other remaining sites in mind, I would think. As well as the Raora, it just seems to be an attacker that was used very, very, very well by the attackers on round 1. I mean, you can't go wrong with getting just what you know worked very well for them in round 1 off the board.
Definitely not a bad call for the side of MSU. Being able to get rid of that Raura just means that you are going to have an easier time rotating. Obviously, there are still operators that will make it hard for you to do things like flank with the Nomad or the Gridlock, both of which Bonkey has considered playing in this particular round. We'll see if he ends up sticking to either of those, but back to the first bomb site that we saw here. We are going to Bar Gaming. this does make a lot of sense. There's also the factor of a lot of ordnance denial for this team. I mean, you've got Wamai and the Jaeger on one team. You do not want any grenades coming your way if you're this side of MSU right now.
Not at all. But see, another thing that we notice here is they only have one shield. I believe it's from Sergeant Anxiety, but that can maybe, depending, be the one shield that is the most important for this defense. But at the same time, you have to be able to get going early, because we saw what happens if you let Kettering get just a little bit of extra space on this site specifically. They will take it and they will run with it. They're running basically the same setup that they had last time they won this site as well. Ova gets hurt a little bit on the solar fighting side there.
This is such a brave position from Walter, man. Playing this Wamai in library, tucked into a corner. Where you can't see it, where you can't see him from the initial jump in on the window.
Epic
You're gonna have to drone him out, but Shrimp is gonna be the first player to fall in this round, and that is really bad. Losing out on your Montaigne just means that you have so much, a much more difficult time trying to get in and take space in these sites. So it's going to be interesting to see if and how Kettering can react to that, but they lose out on Crying too. I mean, this is starting to feel like map 1 all over again. They get one really good round at the start, but then MSU, it kind of feels like they've woken up.
Maybe. Mr. Epic tracked by the bees that Crying left behind. Arc Badman is hurt bad, but he does get the great shot out onto Sergeant Anxiety, who is creeping up blue there. It's not all for nothing as of right now with a double for Arc Badman, and he's proving why it's not necessarily all for nothing right now. Walter is still stuck in his corner. We know what happens when you put Walter's back against a wall. He might just go crazy.
He absolutely can. It's just a matter of can they even find him. Arc with the third in the round. Calm down, my man.
Wow, it's up to Walter now.
The fourth.
Oh my lord,
Walter
what a kill
does
that
find
was,
the first. So patient, waiting in library throughout the entire round, like maybe to his team's detriment, because now it's a 1 versus 3, cutting down to a 1 versus 2. But the diffuser is down. Both of these guns will be trained on your location. They know exactly where you are. They heard those bullets. Now it's going to be a whole lot more difficult to walk in on this Nomad, who will be able to find the 4th kill. Not going to be an ace for Arc, but a phenomenal round nonetheless. And I mean, they finally get a second round on the board for the first time in this series. They're able to put 2 rounds up on a single map, and I mean, that felt like it came at a phenomenal time for them.
I mean, this is their map. They knew that they needed to be able to get going as early as possible, and 4 rounds in, a 2-2 split is honestly what you could have, I guess, so to speak, hoped for, besides possibly getting a 3-1 or maybe even a 4-0, but that wasn't going to happen. This MSU team is just too dialed right now. They have everything working for them. I believe they still had a good defensive round right then. It's just the structure kind of fell apart there at the end, and then you leave it all on Walter, who, based on that strategy, didn't really have to move until it all came down to it. So, yeah, I mean, everything just kind of collapsed, even though it was working well enough for them, I'd say, within that last round. This is really going to be the map that proves. Obviously, it's going to be the map that proves whether we go to map 3 or whether we are going home after this one with MSU winning it. But this is really going to be the map that decides the winner, I would say. If Kettering takes this one, there's a pretty solid chance they end up taking the decider as well, in my opinion.
I mean, going all the way to Clubhouse, I think is going to be a very interesting dichotomy. I really want to know what gets banned on Clubhouse in particular, but first we got to get there. And Kettering, there's been rounds where they've struggled here. The only times they've won a round is when the side of MSU has chosen to defend on bar gaming, which I think is a very interesting little detail of this series, of this map in particular so far. The fact that they've only been able to attack that one site successfully. By the way, there is pressure
Walter.
through the side of Piano. But, I mean, a fairly typical setup coming out here. And, I mean, the defense is just so good so far. Especially with Arc going down, that is problematic for Kettering. Just losing out on the Blitz. Obviously, the same thing happened last round with losing out on the Monty. But you're still losing numbers. Prisma also out of the equation now. It is a 4 versus 2. And, I mean, the players for Kettering who are still alive, very capable players. We've seen them do well in the previous map, but right now they're struggling a little bit, and they're going up against the hot gun of OVA in particular. That is an issue, to say the least.
It is, and you can't count the rest of the gunners out. You can't count Sergeant Anxiety, Mr. Epic, and Walter specifically out at this point. The way that this defense has been looking, I mean, in all honesty, you said it best yourself. They are looking really, really good. They're looking like they are not going to go down at all without a fight. I'm interested to see how their attack ends up working for them, because as of now, everything is clicking on the defense.
A good shot from Bombkey. Picks up his second kill of the map, but gonna need 3 more in order to make this at least a guaranteed tied half for your squad. But it's not looking amazing right now. You are gonna have to expend that Ash charge in order to get rid of the bulletproof camera, but end of the day, you still gotta get downstairs. 30 seconds left, and you still need 3 players to go down.
Attackers have located a
It's
bomb.
not a pretty sight here. And Realize is going to be the first line of defense, but you seem to have spotted him out here. Not going to be able to do much. The smoke canisters are out, and that's going to delay your entry. That's going to completely halt your progress. Walter, able to close it out, guarantees that 3rd round here in the first half on Chalet.
Nobody but Walter. Absolutely nobody but Walter. He has been unbelievably beneficial to this MSU squad. Kettering, I mean, they look good, but they don't look good enough yet. They need to continue to build. In the same way that you said earlier in this match, a snowball rolling down a hill. They need to be that, but for winning attacking rounds instead of just losing and losing and losing and losing and losing. Like, we've seen that they can bring it back and that they can make this somewhat competitive, but it feels as though right now the one step that they take forward, that then makes it to where they have to take 2 steps back. So I feel as though they're really stepping on their own feet right now. I mean, this is your map pick. Dig deep in your bag if you need to, because this is week 3. You are 0-3. Do what you got to do to get yourself on the board now, because playoffs isn't out of the picture entirely yet. But if you lose this one, there will be basically no way for you to be able to, be a part of playoffs in any way. So at this rate that we're going, it's looking more and more like MSU is going to pick up the win, and they're going to get their first win, and they're going to actually taste Division 1 success within a week's time for the first time. But as of now, like, Kettering, they're not showing me enough. They need to continue to take 2 steps forward, and maybe go from taking 1 step forward and 2 back to taking just 2 to taking 2 forward and 1 back. I mean, we need to see a little bit of progress being made here. And for every win that they've been getting, they've looked horrible that very next round as of right now. So I just need to see more out of them.
It's been tough for them, for sure. I mean, getting into these bomb sites has been a struggle in almost every single one of these rounds. And I mean, even when they're bringing along these shield operators, we've seen the Blitz, we've seen the Monty, but they still end up losing out on those operators very early. This time, we're not going to be seeing anything of the sort. Rather, we are going to see primarily a vertical take here off the back of the Ram. These boogies going to be opening up so many lines of sight directly on top of the sites the defenders are holding, but it's not going to be as simple as just opening sight lines. You still have to be able to utilize them. You have to be able to find the initial picks, and so far that's been something that Kettering haven't been able to do super consistently here. And
Yeah, I mean, just because the floor's open doesn't mean that you're guaranteed the kill as the attacker.
Right.
Like,
right.
that's just one thing that has actually bit Kettering in the behind a little bit more than they have liked for it to so far within this matchup, especially on this map.
I do like the take from this northern side of the map. Obviously, it's not super conventional. If in all of your ranked games, you will just see people try to open up that garage door, but here there's a little bit more nuance to attacking the sites that are particularly difficult here. We have less than a minute left in the round, and only one player having gone down on each side of the game. I was literally about to talk about how no one was dead, and then we finally had a 1-for-1 trade, but eventually a few more players are going to fall, and finally things start to be looking up, but it's a 2-for-2 now. 20 seconds remaining in the round.
No diffuser.
No diffuser in hand. You're totally right. 15 seconds. Has that wall even been opened up? It has. Shrimp.
It has.
Walter and Mr. Epic down as well. This could be what Kettering needs.
You just have to play your life at this point.
They need that plant. Where's the diffuser? It's in Shrimp's hands. Not necessary to get that plant down. They are able to close that one out. Bring this to a 3-3. So, that one was a heart attack inducing ace. Last second take on that site, and it nearly went south so quickly when they lost control of that diffuser.
Yeah, and looking at it now, if you're Kettering, this is exactly what you wanted, because you don't know how well versed MSU are on their attack, but you're going to take out the main factors as to what could attribute to a good attack for this MSU team. And that starts with Blackbeard, and it also continues with Blitz. You don't want to have to deal with very many shields. I can understand that.
I don't like shields.
But at the same time, considering that this is your map pick, defense is where you absolutely need to shine. You're taking it now with a 3-3 split. You absolutely have to take the opening round and maybe even the one after that if you're Kettering and if you want a chance to be able to take this to map 3.
And they're starting off their defensive campaign up on the top floor. Fairly unsurprising operator picks coming out from them too. Not at all a surprise to see the Bandit come in, the Valkyrie come in, the Mute come in, the Azami. No, that's a Rooney. That's a Rooney, not a Azami.
A Rooney. Yep, I get it backwards too.
Dude, I get the names mixed up. They're so close to each other, man. They start with an A, they end with an I. Same character, really, fundamentally. No, they're not at all. I am lying. The Jaeger, Jaeger is a little bit of a surprise here. I do think it makes a lot of sense. I mean, Walter is going to be rolling out on the Capitao here, so going to have to play around those ADSs for sure is Walter, but I mean, we've seen Walter do some pretty impressive things in this game so far. If there's anybody who can play around difficulties such as a Jaeger, it's going to be Walter.
100%. Walter and Ova both have been two of the most important players to this team as of now. Mr. Epic has also been making his name felt, so to speak. I wanted to see what was going on there. The windows are now open, forcing Arc Badman out with a few drones here. You want to try to make sure that you can pinch him, and that's exactly what happens. Mr. Epic from downtown with the pinch onto Arc Badman, and Arc Badman didn't have a very good map 1, but now getting him off the board early seems to be something that you feel as though you absolutely have to do in some ways.
Yeah, Arc has definitely been like the top performing player in this map in particular. I mean, 9-3 going into this round. The first half was just kind of the Arc show, despite it being an even half. So, I mean, I think that mostly just speaks to the impressive nature of MSU's play, because they don't have an individual player who put up those kinds of numbers in the first half, and yet they still end up, keeping it even. So I think that if Kettering can maybe just wake up or play just a teeny tiny bit better, then they may end up looking really good for the rest of this. But currently in this round, a man down, not an easy round for them to win,
Bombkey.
especially now that they're down 2. Bombkey out
Oh,
of the
Mr.
equation.
Epic.
And, it gets worse and worse by the moment, but Prismo gets 1 back at very least. Mr. Epic going to get the trade, so it's going to have to be a successful 1v4
That's
for
a nice
Prine,
kill.
and that's going to be the first down, but not going to find the second. Ova on the rappel outside the window, the tiny little angle, and you're just not able to get that one back. MSU looking very solid on that first attacking round, but I think there's still hope. I think there's definitely still hope for Kettering.
Yeah, I can't sit here and say that Kettering's off the board yet. I can't say that their time has come and it's over with, but I will say the attack did look very, very impressive. Like, they knew exactly what was going to happen before it even happened. They were pre-firing. They were hitting all of the angles that they needed to hit. Everything was clicking for them there on that attack, and it's kind of like how it was clicking for them whenever they started attack on Nighthaven. So, I mean, this might just be a really good attacking team in MSU Green. I mean, it all comes down to it every now and then. And as of now, it's coming down to it for them. If they can win this next one, then it's almost completely over with for Kettering at that point. I still have about 50% hope, but if MSU wins this next one, then it'll be down to about 10%
I don't
hope,
know.
maybe.
I don't want to write them off even if they lose this round, because obviously that last round was a little bit rough for them, losing out on one player super early, but I don't expect them to make a similar mistake this time around and lose out on a player the way they lost out last time. Mr. Epic obviously had a really nice pick, but surely they can't be doing that every round. Surely they can't find a from downtown, as you put it, pick from literally out of nowhere within the first seconds of a round. So
Yep.
just playing a little bit more carefully here, I think that Kettering can absolutely put something together that would allow for them to be more comfortable going into this round.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
So far, I mean, they haven't lost anybody yet, but
Yeah. And I'll say the sends wall there from Mr. Epic was interesting. He sends walled off the cutoff for himself in order to make sure that he didn't have to worry, at least for a few seconds, about anyone but the person who might have been on bathroom window. So that was an interesting take there, as Ova does get hurt just a little bit from his own charge, and Arc Badman was ready for it that time now, and Ova is off the board early.
yeah, that's the momentum you want to see coming out from the side of Kettering. Being able to take that opening pick, obviously, it sucks to
He's got
lose
the
out
shotgun.
on Bomb Key, but I mean, they're still feeling relatively confident here. Walter going to be using these bolts pretty early on, but I mean, there's still opportunity for the side of MSU to get in onto this site. But they haven't made a ton of progress, and they've lost out on Walter as well, crying with a gorgeous shot. Now the diffuser is down at the bottom of the window. You've got to go retrieve that. But, oh, Mr. Epic. I don't love that spot that Krine was trying to play in that instance, but Mr. Epic on an angle that I don't think Krine was expecting in the slightest, so can't entirely blame the Valkyrie in that instance. 45 seconds left on the execute. It's going to be rough for the side.
Oh, how do you lose that, Mr. Epic?
MSU is
Oh!
Kettering! Arc, what are you doing, man? Peeking out.
Shotgun
directly.
v shotgun.
Oh, that's so brave, and if it worked, you would have been a genius, but now you're down.
Oh, wait!
Oh, it's a 2 versus 1. They should be able to
You're going to get him up, too.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
Shrimp
for
is
sure.
nowhere close enough to be able to punish that one, but with 15
You only
seconds
have 10
left, they
seconds
have to
now.
just run up the stairs, and you know exactly where they're going to be. They're going to have to peek directly into you.
But you have to move now.
You got to get moving.
Someone
and
has to
surely
plant.
They have to get the plant down here.
There we
They're
go.
going to get it started. The Nomad has it.
Plant's going to go
Plant's
down.
gonna go down. It does go all
There
the way
it
down.
is.
They know that the view
Oh!
is here, but Shrimp cannot get it done. The 1 versus 2 does not come through. And that's going to be a crucial round for MSU to win there. But
Wow.
another super close affair.
Honestly, yeah, I will give it to you. You said that even if they lose this round, you don't want to necessarily count them out yet. And after what I just saw, I don't feel as though I can count them out just yet. Like, yes, it is 5-3.
Attackers need to
MSU
locate
wins
and
one
defuse
more,
the
they're
bomb.
on match point. But like you said, I just don't, especially after what I just saw, I don't feel like I can count Kettering out just yet. I don't feel as though they're completely down and out just yet after what I just saw. That was actually very impressive from MSU to be able to adapt to what was happening on the fly. Pick your teammate up. He was the most important asset to you. And forcing the diffuser to go down and making sure that Kettering can't make a play off of it. That was exactly what needed to happen on MSU. Everything has been falling right for them as of now.
Yeah, everything
5
fell into
seconds
place
left
in that
before
instance.
insertion.
So super well done to the side of MSU to be able to
Attackers are heading
take
out
that
to
up.
defuse
I
the
think
bomb.
that the most crucial part of that entire round is what you were saying just then. The fact that they were able to pick up the downed player on that first floor to run up and force the plant. If you just run upstairs and tried to force the 1v1, there's a very real chance that Kettering takes that round anyway. I mean,
Oh yeah, he dies to K9 door easy.
yeah, almost certainly. But I mean, it was still like such an impossibly close round that could have genuinely gone either way. But end of the day, we are going to see a 5-3 scoreline, and not quite able to open that
Muted.
wall is Walter, just because of that mute jammer on the other side. God, that mute has been causing so many problems throughout. Not quite a character you would consider worthy of banning out, but definitely annoying.
Just annoying enough to know that you are going to be facing a mute, no matter who's defending, basically every round at this level.
Looking very difficult to get in on this one. It's still 5 versus 5. We're at a minute 45, and no deaths so far. Not even a tick of damage has been dealt up to this point. And I mean, it's just a matter of how are you getting in on this one if you're the side of MSU. And I think that the plan of, it seems that Walter was trying to open the back wall and get in on that one pretty quickly. I like this plan. I like the fact that they're doing multi-angled approaches here, but it's still a very difficult site to get into.
Electrified now as well.
On, right? Electrified. And those pellets are going to go onto the wall. I'm not sure that the bandit trick... Oh, it was in time!
It did. Yep.
They managed to get it down, so the wall will remain closed. But not all of the walls can stay closed forever. I believe that there is...
Ace is opening
there's
line.
an ace charge on the wall over around the corner by Realize. Not able to get both of them open yet, but there it is. The Butte Jammer is down and out of the picture.
That's the
30
only angle
seconds
you really
left.
need open. Yep.
Yep, that's all you need. And now you have so much real estate onto this second site room here. And
through
Prismo
the
going
roof.
down is so important. But that's a nice flank there.
Walter with a double.
Butte upstairs.
Whoa!
Find
Through
something.
the wall!
Wow. All right. 45 seconds remaining, and it's a 3 versus 3.
Diffuser's
They
down,
know
though.
exactly. Diffuser's down. They knew exactly where the Goyo was. That's the benefit of bringing along the Grim, but now 2 versus 2. I didn't even catch the third kill on the side of MSU, so...
Walter's in a great spot as well.
Bailiff in hand for Sergeant Anxiety, just wanting to close this one out by any means necessary, but...
Walter with a triple!
Not able to get anything going there, but the defuse is started.
Yep.
It will not be finished. MSU, at this point in the game, now is when I would say I feel pretty confident in calling them winning. They're at match point, rather. I did the same thing I did on the last map. That's kind of funny. But either way, it's kind of rough here going into this next, ban phase. How much is this even going to matter, right? I mean, MSU, I've been saying that Kettering this whole time, I feel significantly more confident in their ability to play here than I did on Nighthaven. But they kind of fell apart near the end of that last round, Ace.
They did. They felt as though the way that the unorthodox attack had came in, it was just too much for them to handle. They weren't going to be able to get the job done. They tried to adapt, but at the same time, they didn't necessarily know what was being thrown at them, so to speak. And when it came down to it, the way that, like I said, the unorthodox attack kind of worked out for them, it's just what needed to happen. They saw the way that they were pinning the big garage wall heavy, but at the same time they were also watching but not paying enough attention to the wine wall, and that's what ended up being at least a little bit of their downfall. And then you have the big garage wall open, or big garage wall open on the backside over there next to wine, and it's just they collapsed in on you before you really even knew which direction they were coming from. So MSU looked to be on the ball and looked to be the reason why Kettering go 0-4 to start their season right here and right now.
And it's very possible. I mean, these last few rounds have been, I don't want to say dominant, because I don't think they have been. There's been back and forth. There's been an ebb and flow. It's just that MSU always seems to come out on top of it in the very last few seconds. Kettering, man, I mean, they're gonna need 3 straight to just take it to overtime at this point, and that is no easy feat in the slightest. So, I'm not feeling amazing about their chances, but I still don't want to fully count them out here. Like, maybe this is delusion, but I want to believe. I want to think that they have a plan here. They've opted to go back to the second floor. We're not going to be in the basement for another round here, so
they're just rushing them at this point, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is aggressive already. No shields in the hands of MSU, but they are taking so much space on this top floor already. They've taken complete control of library and mezzanine, and they're looking to push into the top of this blue hallway. They've got the buck downstairs, focusing on those batteries, and they'll be able to find Crying as well. No punish on the buck. Those batteries won't be going down on that wall again, so that's going to be opened wide by the ace. Realize, getting those holes opened up, and that's just going to make this round so much more difficult for the side of KU. Kettering just in so much trouble, especially with the plant going down. But they do get the kill here. Excellent use of the nitro cell. It is currently a 3 versus 2 if you're not looking at the downed players. But now it's just over. 1 versus 4. Anxiety is not going to get picked up. And I mean, what a recovery from the side of Kettering. We didn't get to see a whole lot of it, but I mean, it all comes off the back of that first nitro cell, right? And Ova is just going to be standing on top. They're talking out the next round.
Yep.
This is just a timeout in essence.
I mean, I really hope they learn their lesson, or else Kettering is coming back. They definitely didn't need to rush there. There was nothing that needed to be done. When it comes to the rush, they need to leave that one in their back pocket next time instead of actually using it, because that was not at all, I would say.
I tend to agree. I don't think you needed at all to go for the early aggression into the site in particular. I think opening those walls is huge, and I think that getting value out of the ace is massive, but sending him in immediately to try to plant the bomb, I mean, that they have operators that can carry a nitro cell, and they probably are. What's the other option for Bandit? Barbed wire? He's not bringing that.
He's not bringing the barbed wire.
I agree with you. A slight misplay from MSU there. I don't think they should have done that, but I mean, realistically, I think that round absolutely could have gone their way if they played a little more patiently.
Attackers need to
We are
locate and
going now
defuse
back to
bombs.
bar gaming, so it will be interesting to see how this round goes.
Yeah, I mean they've got the lineup for it, right? They're bringing the Flores, they're bringing the Nook, they're bringing the Twitch, everything that they could possibly need in order to just help them
Bomb
win
located by
this
attackers.
last round. It all depends on how they plan on using these operators in order to actually see if everything ends up working out for them in the end, as well as the fact that they are one round away from winning their first match here in Midwest R6 within this season 7 that we are in here. They're going to need it in order to make a push for playoffs, and you can't say that Kettering hasn't put up a fight so far. It's definitely not, they're definitely not down and out, so to speak, yet, but as of now, I like the attacker lineup. I like what I'm seeing, and I
Oh,
also like the fact that Bombkey was caught off guard and straight through the window
ooh,
goes over, and now it's looking even better
ooh.
for MSU Green Team.
Yeah, that's bad. that
It's very
is
bad.
not a good player to be losing out on early. Bombkey. I mean, obviously Azami, one of the few defenders remaining with access to the ACOG with the most recent seasonal update. Most of the defensive operators have lost access
Mhm.
to that site, but
Mhm.
Azami remains able to take those super long range gunfights with the DMR, but not anymore. Losing that one to Ova with another DMR in hand. 2 minutes now remaining, and that is the only damage that's been dealt so far. It's still very winnable for the side of Kettering, but it's a lot harder now. This is a position that you can hold for quite some time on top stairs with the shield, with the mute jammer as well. Not going to be particularly easy to get in on this one, especially with Wamai being able to get rid of
Mhm.
so much ordnance. And is there an ADS on that too? Like,
Yes,
dang.
there's an ADS, there's a mute jammer, there's Wamai magnets. Prismo is making sure that he does not have to move.
Yeah, he does
There's
not
not
want
very
to lose
much
this.
that, as well as the Aruni gate, there's not very much that's going to be able to get him off of there.
He does not want to lose this position, my man. He will stay here for as long as is possible. But eventually, he
Arc
will be
Batman takes
forced back a
Realize
little bit,
out.
surely. Here.
Another
Sergeant
Nitro kill.
Anxiety also going down elsewhere on the
The
map.
stairs.
It's 3 versus 3. Losing out on a couple of players here. Realize and Anxiety not in the picture anymore. But this, I mean, these bolts have had to go towards.
What a
Oh
shot!
my god.
What a shot
Gorgeous
from
shot.
Mr. Epic. You don't have to worry about Prismo anymore.
Yeah, top stairs was a problem for quite some time, but
A
I
triple
mean, there's
from
still
Arc,
problems
though?
on the side of Kettering. It's a 1 versus 2 now,
Double.
though, for Shrimp,
Oh.
who has had a little bit of a rough map,
Oh.
but they win it out anyway! Are you kidding
Shrimp.
me?
Wow.
A 1 versus 2 for the lowest fragging player in the lobby, and he manages to pull it off. Shrimp dragging them over the line and 1 round closer to OT.
1 round closer to OT. We said it multiple times. They needed 3 straight to just push it to OT, and it feels like we might be witnessing the miracle, so to speak, that they needed in order to make it to OT in the first place. Now, who's to say they're going to win OT if they make it there? I can't be the one to say it, but I will say that MSU, even in these 2 straight losses that they have taken, have still looked really, really, really solid. It's came down to the wire both times, and it's going to continue to do so probably for the rest of this. Even if MSU does end up winning this one, it's most likely going to come down to the wire. And I will say, MSU have looked really, really good on their downstairs basement snowmobile attacks. So we're just going to have to see what they can end up pulling out of their bag here this go around with the Ram and the Glass combo.
The Glass is very interesting to me. This kind of just reads to me that, especially with the Thatcher and the Thermite, they just want that wall open as quickly as possible, and they want to plant that bomb, that diffuser, excuse me, as quickly as possible. I'm too used to games where you plant a bomb and not a diffuser. Like, why did they do that in this game? Whatever, it doesn't matter. Going forward, I mean, this is exactly what you would expect to see here, obviously. Down
think they're
goes
gonna
the
get it
thermite
too.
charge, but the
Oh,
bandit trick is in
never mind.
time. God, I love watching bandit tricks, man.
That's
It's
a
so
great bandit
cool.
trick from Prismo
It's
too.
so cool. Just a fascinating character in general.
Still ready for it. Shrimp applying a little extra pressure with the Shumikas through the drone hole, but there's no one there as of now.
See,
You're gonna have to watch out for Ova. I don't know why he
What?
activated that.
Oh,
That
no.
might have just been had to have just been a misclick. He still has one more
Unlucky.
in his pocket at the very least.
Unlucky. You hate to see it. But yeah, I mean, this is such an interesting composition to be looking at here. I did not initially understand why we were seeing Shrimp bring along that Tachanka, but I mean, the usage of that flame grenade launcher just to stop anybody from getting another hard breach charge down onto that reinforced wall, allowing Prismo to reset up those batteries. It's such a small bit of team play there, but it's one of those things that a team can do that really, really sets them apart, like just allows them to maybe take another crucial round here. Still a minute left in this round and nobody has gone down yet. This is, I think, the longest that everyone has survived in this game so far. It does look like they're going to be going for another attempt on that one, though. MSU loses the first player of the round. Ova is out of the picture. And
but Arc
gets
Badman
traded
goes down to
immediately.
Walter. Mr. Epic, wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Oh, no.
Oh, Walter with a double.
No.
Oh, it's up to Shrimp and Prismo now. The
players
diffuser is most certainly going to get planted now, unless Prismo
Oh.
throws that nitro.
No.
A triple from Walter,
No.
and Sergeant Anxiety closes it out through the smoke. He did what he needed to do. You make sure you save those smokes for the post plant or the plant in general. And 7-5 closes it out for MSU. An unbelievable match that we just witnessed there. And almost comeback as well from Kettering on their map.
Yeah, I mean, that was a significantly closer map, obviously, than what we saw in Nighthaven Labs. After Nighthaven, I genuinely thought that this was going to be like, oh, another stock standard 2L. But huge props to Kettering for putting up a massive fight on their
I'll
map
agree.
pick there of Chalet. It was pretty phenomenal stuff coming out from them. I'm obviously, again, though, big props to Michigan State for, actually taking the win away today. They will win their first match of the stage here in Midwest R6. And obviously the usage of what am I getting at here? I had a point and then I immediately lost it. Go ahead, take it away, Ace. I need water.
I mean, at the end of the day, looking at it the way that it fell, you can't really take anything away from Kettering, so to speak. They had a good enough match. They're one of the better 0-4 teams, I'd say, right? I mean, MSU, of course, I said it best myself in the pre-show. They had a great season last season, and I believe they played some really rough teams toward the beginning of this season. So now that they're cooling down, so to speak, taking on teams like Kettering, who may not or definitely aren't at the top of the totem pole, so to speak, it gives them a chance to get their feet underneath them, to be able to test the waters, so to speak, of how deep is it really here in D1 now that we're finally here within Midwest R6. And yeah, I mean, it's just a great team building win, I'd say, for MSU Green.
Yeah, it was very well played. I do believe we are going to get a player interview in before we end the broadcast, so please don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly with a slight interview with one of MSU's players.
Oh, how will them send? But you can't kill. But you can't kill my
Hey,
boy.
boys, if I talk, you will knock you out.
33 don't care 3 markets. Go to them. I don't want to hear none of them upcoming new artists. Go to watch out. What do watch out? Them stink like my money. By the way, I don't want to hear none of it. I only want to hear the river.
They're on the beat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We are joined now by the winning team captain, Sergeant Anxiety. Sergeant Anxiety. But yeah, before we went live, you were actually telling us about the bar round on Chalet. I would usually start with a question that I kind of had on my mind, but I actually want to give you the floor to yap about that for a little bit because that was quite intriguing what we saw and what you were getting ready to tell us. So the floor is yours for this one for sure.
Okay, yeah. So basically, it was what 6-4, and it was the bar round. We just noticed that they never brought any like lurk utilities, so, like no barbs, no proxies, nothing like that. So I was like, okay, you guys just make a shit ton of noise. You guys burn the shield. I'm gonna walk up blue and kill the guy. Um, am I not audible? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Mike's not working.
Oh man, yep, you were deaf in there for a second. Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, you're live. You're live. Take us back through that though. Take us back through that.
Okay, it's working now?
Yeah, we can
now
hear
we
you
can
now.
hear
Okay,
you.
good. Okay, good. Okay. Basically, it was we noticed they didn't have any lurk utility, so we saw no proxies, no barb. So I was like, okay, if we just burn a bunch of util up top, make a bunch of noise, I can probably just walk right up blue, kill this Wamai on the stairs. Right, this is gonna be free as shit. And I thought I had seen the mute in bar stock. So I walk up, not realizing in my mind I had looked right at the mute. And then I go right past the mute. I swear had some confusion. Shoots me in the back, and then the whole round just fell apart.
And, and you see, I see this happening, and I
no.
recognize it, but I choose to focus on the round because that was just. I had a feeling it was a little bit of a misplay. That was absolutely hilarious. But yeah, we're gonna let my esteemed co-caster here pick your brain for a hot second here.
Yeah, for sure. My big question is, obviously you guys are you guys definitely seem practiced on Night Haven Labs. One of the, I don't want to say newer maps because it's not, it's a few years old at this point, but definitely one you guys seemed extremely practiced and comfortable on. And I do not recall if the I do not recall which half you guys were attacking at, but
It was the first
what
half, I believe.
the first half. Okay, but just getting rid of that wall denial immediately, the bandit and the Kaid, obviously very good on both top and bottom floor defense for those operators. So knowing that you were probably going to be going up against the Tubarão for those rounds, I want to know how you planned around that operator in particular.
Yeah, so I think, when you ban off the Cade Bandit, that we expected them actually to bring out the Mira a lot earlier, to do like a tub Mira trick. So we prepped to have the Ash go beneath, but when they didn't run the Mira the first few rounds, we were like, okay, this is free, just pop wall off rip, and we'll try and work other parts of the map while that tub is going off. So that's when we kind of got into recognizing that they just gave us top Aqua for free. They weren't fighting it at all. So we were like, okay, pop wall, we're going to start working the DMRs over towards rafters. We're going to start working the shields into Aqua, take all that map control. Then once breach pops, they're screwed. They have nothing left to like fall back on. And then when they brought out the Mira, they just don't know how to do a Mira trick, I guess. I thought that was pretty default, but they were just,
Yeah.
I don't know what they were doing. We got wall open just as easy every time. So I don't know what they were doing. This is no shade to them. I was just confused at what they were doing. But
Right.
when they give you all the map control, and they try and do like a half-ass way of like keeping one part of the map closed and then everything else is free, and then we take that, the round's free at that point. And we knew they were playing Nitros for WinCon, so we were like, okay, if we just go straight in Aqua every time, it's really, really easy to just plant on the bomb that doesn't have breakable floor, and we're going to win every round.
The other question I had for you was kind of regarding the mentality of some of the rounds that went a little bit south, particularly on that chalet. Especially the round that comes to mind for me is the one where they chose to defend top floor. You guys took immediate control of library and mezzanine, and then opened the wall with the buck from below, getting rid of the batteries. Opened the wall, went through with the ace, and immediately tried to plant, but then died to the C4, and then everybody else died immediately after that. My question is less so about what happened in that round and what you guys did to like rebound from that, like maybe slight bump in the road. Like how do you keep the mentality high after a round goes south like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that round was my fault because I gave them the call to go early. I didn't give. He killed the Valk below, so we have bottom control. So I gave them I gave the comm to go. So I was like, hey guys, it's my fault. I had the Uova Logan. I had him take a timeout on roof without with the
On the
remaining minute
roof.
or whatever that
Yep.
he had.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that round's on me. You guys did nothing wrong. We are playing great Siege. Let's continue to play
Yeah.
great Siege, and we're going to continue to make. I'm going to continue to try and make the right calls, right? If I was like, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. These guys suck at playing against the lurks. And this is no shade. This is no shade.
Yeah, no, you got it.
They
I
don't know
get
how
you.
to play against the lurks. They don't know how to play against the sneaky plays. So we're going to keep trying to just go into that. We aren't playing bad Siege. I made one bad call, and we're going to win this game. It doesn't matter.
A good bit of leadership there for sure. And you guys were playing good Siege throughout the entirety of
were.
the match. So again, congratulations for taking this
Thank
one
you.
in the way you did.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll I got two here really quick to wrap it up with. One of them being it's I want you to take me through. I believe that was round 8. It was 6-1 on Nighthaven to win the entire thing. You have
Yeah.
it wasn't you specifically, but a clutch ace from a team member. I believe it was Walter.
That was me.
No,
Oh,
it
it was
was
you.
it was
Okay,
you. It was the
I thought it was
Saladin.
Walter. I'm sorry. So it was you. So take me through that then. Walk me through that entire round.
Yeah. So I mean, biggest thing was, for that we're trying to just layer off, and they're slow, right? So off rip, our player died top floor, and I was like, okay, I'm out of position. I should have been up Aqua because he got shot from Aqua. That was on me. I was like, okay, I'm just gonna retake up Aqua because their player went deep, right? And then I heard one outside. I literally told my team, I was like, I think I have a free kill here. He's just gonna walk in. He went to Rafters window, shot that guy, free kill. Um, then it was they took map control, they killed Epic. And then we're just trying to work the nitro cells that we had. We're running down time. I think it was Cryan had 2 really nice kills both my teammates who were kind of
Yep.
stacked up together. I had shot the air jab that they had placed because he misplaced it. So I shot it. I ran straight to hatch. If they had tucked just a little longer, I think it would have been like it would end up being a 2v2 instead of the 1v2. But I shot them both from hatch. Immediately dropped. The one tap that I had on the guy walking in breach was possibly the luckiest thing of my life. I shot. I
That
do
was a
not
great
have
kill.
that good a reaction time. I shot that. I shot one time. I was like, I'm just gonna shoot this and run. I shoot. I hit a headshot, and I was just like, oh shit, I can win this now. This is winnable.
Nice.
And then the last guy ran at me, so it worked out. It was a nice little ace. But I do have to say, comms from my team were stellar. One thing we were working on is just keeping comms not cluttered, letting one person take the comms when they have the cam, right? And they did a great job at that. I was getting clear comms of where everybody was. I knew where everybody was in that situation. I could not have clutched that out without them, having clear, concise comms.
Yeah, I mean, and looking back at it, I mean, this team really worked very, very well as a cohesive unit as of tonight. I mean, both of you were 0-3 coming into this. Kettering a little bit more on the actual 0-3 side as they fall to 0-4. You guys, however, had a little bit tougher of a task going into or coming into this season. I mean, you guys come off the division title. You guys win your respective grand final against Louisville last season, and then you come into now Division One. You start 0-3. Give me how you were feeling coming into Division One off that grand final win, and then you go down 0-3. How are you and the team feeling coming into this one, knowing that you're going against another team that's also 0-3? And how do you feel moving forward now that you're 1-3? Now that you are still technically still somewhat alive in playoffs?
Yeah. So I guess at the start with Div 1, we won Div 5 through 7. We had our roster. Actually, I'm the only person from the old roster who stuck around,
Oh,
who's still
okay.
playing. Epic was on the team last year, and he won with us. But he was just playing as a sub this year, with time constraints or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So we had, 4 new players coming into it. You kind of have to build. Nobody had ever played comp before, except for me. So it's just getting these incredibly talented guys to just learn like the Siege comp mindset. So like everything in ranked versus competitive is completely different. So getting them to learn that, and then when quals came around, we did good. We ended up getting Div 1, which none of us were expecting. But we were really happy, and we were like, okay, let's go out, let's see what we got. And I mean, I think we had the hardest 3 matchups we possibly could have the
That's what
first 3
I'd
weeks.
heard. Yep.
We had Akron, CC, and Iowa, which I'm pretty sure were the top 3 teams from last season.
They were actually
yeah.
1, 2, and 3. Yep.
Yep. And we put up we did not put up a good fight against Akron. We learned a lot though, which was good. We put up a decent fight against Iowa and iffy fight against CC, but the important thing for us was just learning where everything went wrong, getting better. So we were really confident coming into this week. We're like, we have our 3 hardest matchups out of the way. We're gonna go to these next 4 matchups and just play like we've never played before, and just keep doing what we know we how to do best. And I mean, this group of guys has just, taken everything, on the chin. They're working hard, 3, 4, sometimes 5 days a week. I couldn't be prouder to have a better group of guys with me.
Yeah, I mean, and coming out of it, how do you feel? How do you think the team is going to react knowing you guys are still technically alive in playoffs?
I mean, I think this just inspires us even more. We work hard, but we're going to keep working even harder. We have a real shot to win out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And that's not, that's not a reflection of anybody we're playing against. I'm not even entirely sure who we have to play against. That's just a reflection of how hard we're willing to work and how much work we're willing to put in to get there.
Well,
For sure,
I mean,
for sure.
it couldn't have been said better by anyone besides the man who led this team to Division 5 through 7 title last season, the last remaining sergeant, so to speak, on this MSU Green Club, and now looking to bounce back and already have bounced back over Kettering now, looking to bounce back, looking to win out, looking to prove that MSU Green are on top. I always like to try to do this at the end of every post-game interview that I'm a part of. I want to give you the floor. Is there, and this was actually something that was taught to me a while ago within Midwest. I want to give you the floor. I want to let you have the opportunity to shout anyone out that you want, attributed to this big win, teammates, whoever, school, club, anybody. Just the floor is yours to let us know how you feel about who helped you get here and who helped the team get here.
Yeah, I mean, huge shout out, obviously to Mr. Epic for stepping in last minute. We needed a sub last minute. He stepped in. He played great. He, came in, dedicated a lot of his time yesterday, coming in doing some scrims, some dry runs, learning everything he had to learn, and he played great today. Huge shout out to all the boys, but especially Walter, who didn't have the world's greatest start to the season, and he just came out lights out today.
He blew up. Yep.
He played the best Siege I've ever seen him play, and he just was exuding confidence. So great for him. Huge shout out to our coach Nate Ghostly. He's been working with the boys, helping us get some stuff down, which we appreciate. And then my fellow e-board Alex and Overlord and CJ been working hard to get us in the production room and getting everything we need for every match every week set up. So huge shout out to everybody. Oh, and I love you, Mom.
Of course, gotta throw in the love from Mom at the end of that one. Always a big fan of that one. Sergeant, thank you again so much for joining us for this interview, and congratulations again. Best of luck moving forward with the rest of your matches here in Midwest R6. I'm hoping to see you guys in playoffs, because that was some electric gameplay, and it would be a shame to not see more of it.
Thank you very much.
Of course. But with that, y'all,
100%.
that's going to be us wrapping up the broadcast for the evening. A 2-0 in favor of MSU this evening. So tune in again next Thursday when we'll have another match for you. Probably won't be me and Ace again, but we're going to have some very talented individuals on the stream, both behind the microphone and in the server. So don't go anywhere. Come back next week. We'll see you all later.
GG, great win, man.
Splendid. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay. So I'm worried my mic